moving around the table, looking to get in with strong top spins. Prepared to play top spins from slightly away from the table. And Gao Ning looking to stay close to the table, absorb the spin and speed, move the ball around the table, and look to get in with his own strong forehand topspin, forehand smash. The players, of course, are entitled to a 2-minute practice before this match commences. Best of 7 games, as always, each game to 11 points. Gao Ning lost to his teammate Yang Zi in the final of the men's singles in Delhi at the Commonwealth Games. Singapore, of course, dominated the table tennis event at the Commonwealth Games. And the 2-minute practice is now complete. And it's Gao Ning to serve at the start of the first game.
Love 1.
Gao looking for the forehand topspin down the line. It caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. Gao overhitting the backhand topspin. First 2 points to Chian. Chian now with his 2 serves. Good forehand topspin from Chian. Didn't go for a lot of speed, brushed up the back of the ball, a lot of topspin. Chian now leads 3-1.
1-4.
Brave return of serve from the teenager, the long fast push down the line. And the former world junior champion has made an excellent start, 4-1.
5-1.
Chian did well there. It's a good return of serve from Gao. But he reacted very quickly to the topspin down the line, stepped across. There's the Singapore coach.
1-7.
He won't be too impressed with the start of Gao Ning. 7-1. Chian now with his 2 serves, leads 7-3. Gao Ning retrieved well there. Chian just taking his time, uses the towel as he can do. He's allowed to do so every 6 points.
4-9.
Good return of serve, came across, spun it with the backhand. Six game points for Chinese Taipei.
11-4.
First game to Chian, and 11-4. comprehensive victory in the first game. Still a long way to go. But certainly Gao Ning taking his time to get back to the corner. Looks quite dejected. Body language certainly doesn't look good. It's a confirmation of the situation in the first game, 11-4. And so the 1 minute break over, the players back to the table for the start of the second game, and certainly Gao Ning's going to have to up the ante. Didn't look in great form in that first game, and I'm delighted to say I've been joined in the commentary position by Michael Anderson, the Executive Director of Training and Education for the International Table Tennis Federation, a former national coach for Denmark, very experienced. A pleasure to have Michael sat next to me. Not a great start, Michael, by Gao Ning.
No, but he is playing a pretty young and exciting player. In fact, the world junior champion in Madrid 2008 in Chian, who I like as a player, and I think he can give him a good fight.
Love free.
Again, Chen making a very good start, wins the first 3 points. Very dynamic, quick on his feet, strong top spins, backhand and forehand. And certainly the coach from Singapore not looking too happy.
Hold up.
And Gao Ning is also one of these top players who hasn't done a whole lot the last few years. In fact, highly ranked, but result-wise left a lot on the table.
4-1.
In fact, looking back at the records, Gao Ning's last win, I believe, was back in India in 2007, an ITTF Pro Tour 4 years ago.
1-5.
But still, ranked in the top 20 in the world. It will be an excellent scalp for the 19-year-old, the teenager from Chinese Taipei. He won the first game very convincingly, 11-4, leads 5-1.
And Chen is also a strong topspin player. You don't want to get out too much in the topspin game against Chian because then you will get difficulties actually controlling. There's a lot of spinning his balls as well.
6-2.
Brave serve there from Gao Ning, the long fast serve out wide to Chen's forehand. Took Chen by surprise.
7-2.
But this really is one-way traffic at the moment. The youngster from Chinese Taipei.
And it's so much a confidence thing also with a player like Gao Ning. You lose your confidence, you're not that comfortable at the table, and it's so easy when you have a game like Gao Ning that, you know, he's still a good player, but it's not necessarily the most dangerous shot maker out there.
3-8.
Well-placed topspin from Gao Ning down the middle of the table. As you say, Michael, not a powerful player. It's certainly fairly consistent, but at the moment it's the power of Chen. It's dominating this last 64 encounter. (8-4). Chen now with his 2 serves to come.
8-5.
Forehand topspin from Chen, just caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end. 8-5.
5-9.
Good serve. A bit side under, relatively quick short service, and And Chian is one of these players that is in transition. He's in transition to becoming an established top player. And he's done fairly well out in the Pro Tour, not on a very regular basis, but surely not an easy opponent.
6-9.
Just didn't quite make contact with the ball, looking to spin it up. Good point for Gao Ning there. Forehand, backhand, top spins. Certainly the youngster very dynamic. But we just see the error in a second. That just caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. 9-7. Just letting that ball drop a little bit too low into the net, and certainly Gao Ning right back in this second game.
And that's the thing, experience will give you also a little bit of a shaky service from Chian, who knows that he probably would like to have this game at least.
Big point there for Chian. Good topspin. Backhand block from Gao Ning, caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. 2 game points for the teenager from Chinese Taipei. There he is using the towel. A further 6 points have progressed. The player's entitled to towel down every 6 points. Gao Ning now with his 2 serves. And it's a good topspin down the line from Chian to take the second game, 11-8. And he's certainly looking very strong, Michael.
He does look strong, and I think I'm not sure if I like Gao Ning's technique very much here. He's shifting a little bit in his forehand. He doesn't have the right contact all the time, but and you get out to a topspin game, he seems not to win many points there, and that's you know, it's also a style thing. It may not fit him 100% in the current form he's in, so he has an uphill battle here for sure.
Looking at the statistics, they've only met once before, these two, and Gao Ning scraped through 4-3 in the Asian Cup back in 2010. But it certainly looks here now as though the teenager is the favourite. He's won the first 2 games. He needs to win 4. Half the job's been done.
You see also this kind of game, topspin, and there's Chian's strength actually. So you play out to a young guy's strength like that, and he feels comfortable in his game. And if you cannot get anything on service, which Gao Ning normally doesn't do too much, I mean, his service is not is the strong parts of his game. So then you're in some trouble there already, for sure.
Chian wins the first point of the 3rd game. Trademark Chian, the forehand topspin from the backhand side of the table. He plays it so effectively. He's quick on his feet. Again, the serve was long, spotted very quickly by Chian, straight in with the forehand topspin.
Chian is not one of these players that doesn't play with a whole lot of speed, but does have a lot of spin in his topspin.
Gao Ning doesn't seem to have an answer.
No, he doesn't look comfortable at all. In fact, you know, taking a lot of risk, doesn't get in position to the balls. It's in big time trouble.
1-4.
Always a very dour looking player, I feel. Doesn't look, no smiles, no emotion. Not a dynamic player either, as you said, Michael. No big forehand or backhand topspins.
You also see the game evolving. I mean, Gao Ning had a good run, I think, 3-4 years ago when he was fairly dominating on the Pro Tour and advanced all the time and so on. Okay, good shape. His game is good enough, but it requires that you're in top shape because you know, there's not too much dangerous serves and stuff like that coming. So.
5-2.
And of course there can be other factors, but that we don't know. We do know that CHEN has looked good to advance to the third round, which would be a good thing for him.
2-6.
Nice backhand.
Good combination of topspins there, backhand, forehand, sprays the ball around the table, quick on his feet. Certainly has all the hallmarks of a great player. The serve drifted long. Chen went for the topspin. It was the right shot to do. Just caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. 6-3. Teenager in the lead.
6-4.
The only thing with Chian is that exactly like that, when he doesn't get the good power and steps too much back and trying maybe to block and play safe and so on. So this is something he has to learn, to be a little bit more aggressive on his return of service and stay closer to the table.
7-4.
Throws his arms up in the air. Gao Ning, certainly the body language isn't good from the Singapore player. The youngster bouncing around the table.
5-7.
Momentum certainly very much with the player from Chinese Taipei at the moment, although he has to stay focused. He has to keep applying the tactics, getting in with the topspin. As you say, Michael, not drifting away from the table and just keeping the ball on the table. Has to keep playing positive table tennis. Gao Ning now with his 2 serves to come. Slightly fortunate there, caught the top of the net, trickled over.
But it was a good touch, so that it will give you that chance that the ball will be a little bit more attacked. So you're quicker on the ball, you can get those kind of bounces.
8-6.
Good placed backhand attack by Gao Ning.
Singapore supporters in the crowd, which is now slowly building up. Again, they're an example of Chen just drifting away from the table, not doing a lot, allowing Gao Ning to get in and dominate the rally. Gao Ning beginning to play a little bit better. Certainly topspin to topspin there, he did well, he held his ground. Teenagers away from the table.
One of the few rallies is actually won in topspin, but you know, that's a confidence builder obviously, and takes away a little bit of confidence that Chian has shown so far. It's a critical point in the match.
Slightly fortunate there, Chian. Ball just catches the top of the net. Gao Ning does well to return it, but up in the air it goes. Always an outside chance of an error here, but no, straight through the back of the ball. Good forehand smash from Chian. Certainly a pivotal moment in this match. And that was an error from Gao Ning there. Every chance to make that forehand topspin. 2 game points now for Chen Qianan. Again, he's taking his time. He's using the towel. He's entitled to do so every 6 points. He's now serving with 2 game points. Interesting tactics there, threw in the backhand chop, then launched into that backhand topspin.
It's not too far away. I mean, it was fairly creative play from Chian.
So 1 game point saved, 1 remains. Business end of the 3rd game. Teenager leads by 2 games to 0. That's a great block by Gao-Ning. Took the ball very early, punched it out wide to the left-hander's forehand. And we see here,
quick. Those kind of backhands are obviously now with most top players. I mean, they can really go over the ball very quickly, as you say, take it early and give it a kick back, and that is hard to reach.
What's an error from Gao-Ning? He did well in the rally. He got in with the first strong topspin. The youngster had to retrieve. And so Chen now with his third game point. He led 10-8. He now leads 11-10. Will it be third time lucky? We're just about to find out. Not the best of serves. It went long. It allowed Gao-Ning to take on the topspin, and he placed it quite superbly, straight down the line. An outright winner on the return of serve.
Yeah, a little bit too easy. Showed that side over, and then you know that it's going to come out to you. So we didn't cover that one clear, but now.
A long fast push off the end of the table from Chen. Gao-Ning now has his first game point. First player to win 2 clear points will win this third game. And the backhand block off the end of the table from Chen. Gao-Ning saves 3 game points and wins the third game 13-11. That could be a crucial win, Michael.
Good, of course. I mean, it's always a question of confidence with a young player, and he played maybe a little bit too easy. I thought in the middle of that game when he had a number of points lead already, and then went back a little bit, and Gao-Ning got to make a few topspin points and came back. That's always what happens when you have an experienced players against you. So, and maybe he tried to serve almost the same, and obviously he's a bit side over in all his 3 last services, and that's maybe too easy. And that's always been a part of Chen's game, you know, not to step out too easy. You know, if you can stay in the right position and work in the right working position, then it's much more effective, because he is a pretty good topspin player.
So the players have taken advice on board from the respective coaches. They're back at the table for the start of the 4th game. It's Chen with his 2 serves.
Started off from the middle, so that's a good thing, good coaching there, because you know, you get another kind of a line of direction in your serve, and that's pretty smart.
And that's a great backhand. Almost a punch out wide to Gao-Ning's forehand. Just see that again. Hit straight through the back of the ball, punched it out wide to the forehand of Gao-Ning. First 2 points to Chen.
1-2.
Probably one of the fastest topspins we've seen from Gao-Ning, straight down the middle of the table.
Yeah, I got that one perfectly timed over the table.
2-all.
For Chen also, always I felt that if he can get his backhand involved, he doesn't have to run all the time, because if he's very quick on his feet, he runs too much, then you slow down in some areas and you get those angles caught in the angle game.
A slight error with the score, stayed at 2-1 instead of 2-all, but it's very quickly being rectified. And Gao-Ning has just won 3 consecutive points. It leads 3-2. Clever play there by Chen. Just came up the back of the ball rather than going through it. Took the pace off the ball, put more topspin on the ball. And Gowning didn't quite get his racket angle over the ball sufficiently. Off the end of the table, 3 points each. This is developing into a very exciting game now. Not the best of returns from Chen. Went long, which was good, but it was slightly high. Gowning was able to get a fair bit of pace on the ball. Made the counter topspin difficult.
It's a good one though from Chian. He stand closer to the table and go back and really change the pace on his spin. That one there.
Wonderful topspins there, spraying the ball around the table, first into the backhand of Gowning, then out wide to the forehand. And as we see here on the replay, forcing Gowning away from the table. Gowning not happy when he's away from the table, likes to stay close.
And this is how you, as an experienced player, you get back into the game. You make it a service and return game suddenly, and you're able to score some easy points instead of getting out on the rallies all the time. So a young player, keep concentration. You know, don't drift away. You know how you score points, but make sure that you take what is given to you.
So a chop block there from Gowning. Managed to get some backspin on the ball, coming down on it, but a great rally from both players there. Topspin versus topspin. As you say, we don't see Gowning winning many of those. And there's that unusual improvised shot, almost a sort of a chop block from away from the table.
He wished they got 2 points there, but he only got 1.
6-7.
Clever placement from Gowning, keeping the ball out wide to the left-hander's forehand. So now Gowning leads 8-6, wins all the scrappy points, as we would say. All the little short rallies going in favour of Gowning. Good tactics from the 29-year-old.
9-6.
Yeah, you have to learn also as fairly young and inexperienced players to keep your tactics in line. I think that what he's now trying to do is you know, a little bit of everything. Not so consistent as in the beginning when he knew how to win his points, and now you scrambled all over the place. And it's pretty easy for an experienced player to start scoring on a frequent basis.
(7-9), Chen with his 2 serves.
8-9.
Good forehand topspin straight down the line. See that again. Good footwork as he steps round. A good angle.
Slowly building that confidence back, you know, it's shifting back and forth, but Gowning now has won, you know, a couple of those rallies where you play topspin, and scoring those good points is always, you know, gives you a little bit of extra.
Gowning serving 2 game points. There it is. The first time of asking. Gowning wins the 4th game, 11 points to 8. And what could have been a 3-0 lead for Chen. He had 3 game points in the 3rd game. Lost it 13-11. Now he's lost that 11-8. Has he let it slip away, Michael, the youngster?
Normally you would say yes. I'm not too impressed by Gao Ning's game either, because I think that Chian lost some of the line in his game, you know, how you score point or not, and then you get a little bit stressed and you try a little bit of everything suddenly. And now you have to be a great tactician as well in table tennis, and this is maybe a sign that normally not Chian's strong sides in being strong in tactics, but of course he's on learning on the job here as well. And I'm sure he's one of the type A players that might appear in London as well. They are kind of in a transition from a young, older team to a younger team, and you see a lot of the young type A players here, you know, trying to play well.
So the players now back at the table for the start of the 5th game, 2 games each. Gao Ning to serve.
Look one.
Good topspin down the line from Gao Ning. Just stepped around his backhand to play that forehand.
One thing with Chian's technique is also that, you know, there's a lot of cross-court table tennis, what I call it, in his top spins, and you read that, you can be able to step around and maybe punish him.
Good backhand. Gao Ning out wide to the backhand of Chen. And you have to give full marks here to Gao Ning. He certainly battled his way back into this last 64 encounter. And certainly his confidence now, particularly in that situation when it's topspin versus topspin, is very high. It's probably the 3rd or 4th consecutive point he's won with the topspin rallies.
Much better technique now also in his forehand. Doesn't shift too much, you know, doesn't try to steer in the ball, but works with all his body and connected to timing the ball well.
2-4.
Six points have progressed. Players use the towel. And Gao Ning leads by 4 games to 2. Chen now with his 2 serves.
There's a service that he has to come back to relatively often in this case now. Serve from the middle and, you know, do a little bit of different angles on his serve and see if he can get the first point of attack.
5-3.
Certainly found that short in forehand also, Gao Ning now. Can he keep it short in forehand, he's got a good chance of attacking next.
Interesting tactics from Chen, the long fast push. He was hoping to make the counter topspin, but Gao Ning was very quick on his feet, as we see there. That's a powerful forehand topspin. Didn't give Chen much of an opportunity to play the counter topspin. 7-3. The 29-year-old from Singapore leads. And there, a little bit of good fortune favouring Gao Ning. Does it just catch the top of that? No, not quite. But I don't think he quite got the contact he wanted, but it was certainly a good change in pace Gowning leads 8-3.
8-4.
That's an excellent forehand topspin. Took it very early. Invited the topspin from Gowning by serving long and fast, and then took on the counter topspin.
And down the line also, he needs to be a little bit more active in that direction in his first attack. So it's been way too easy for Gowning to read where the ball is coming here for a while.
Again, Gowning outmaneuvering Chen, and eventually Chen having to revert to the backhand chopping action, the backspin. 9-4. Six game points for Gowning in this fifth game. That was a well-guided flick out wide to Gowning's forehand.
But you know, as a old world-class coach, Don, that now it's the coaching manual out on the Taipei side. There's some way turning this match around, because we certainly have a lot of work to do now in the 1 minute.
That topspin caught the top of the net, flew off the end of the table. Gowning takes the fifth game. 11-5, and you're absolutely right, Michael. I'm sure the Chinese Taipei coach and the Chinese Taipei player Chen will be thinking, where's it all gone wrong? Played superbly in the first two games, won the first 11-4, the second, as we can see on the screen, 11-8. He should have won that a lot more comfortably than he did. And then he had 3 game points in the third for a 3-0 lead. Now he finds himself 3-2 down. What do you think the Chinese coach will be saying, the Chinese Taipei coach?
I think they have to revert back now to really, you know, consequently try to change a little bit of the direction. It's becoming sometimes too easy to read. Chian is going cross with his backhand, cross with his forehand. You got to find that way of being able to attack down the line. And Gowning is not a great what we call block or when he's getting attacked on. I mean, then you have a chance always if you're first on the ball, if you're trying to be active and get back to that, a lot of spin in your first attacks.
So Chen serves at the start of the sixth game, a game he has to win. It's the best of 7 games. It's 3-2 for Gowning. He's 1 game away now from a place in the last 32. And that's a topspin error from Chen. I think it's exactly as you say, Michael. Chen's allowed Gowning to get his confidence by playing predictable table tennis. Gowning able to spot where the ball's going. He's gradually got his game together and now playing very well.
2-1.
It's not moving as well either now. Chian is standing, waiting for the ball a little bit, leaning, letting the ball drop, which has always been one of his problems, is letting his topspin drop a little bit. And you get that extra time on the other side to be able to counter topspin. And
1-3.
It's fascinating how the body language has changed. Gowning looked like a defeated player in the first 3 games, really. But now it's Chen who's looking around at his coach, who's shrugging his shoulders, and indeed the coach from Chinese Taipei calls the timeout. He clearly senses that this match is drifting away from Chen Qianan, and certainly he'll be hoping that this timeout changes the momentum of the match, because it's looking very much in favor of Gowning now.
Yeah, and Chian, if you say something, I mean, I've seen him a lot on the junior side, and it's not an intimidating player, though. I mean, his body language is he's a pretty laid-back kind of guy, as it seems, and he's good table tennis, good young table tennis players, but has a lot of hole in his game, and needs to get his tempo up in his attacks and arm speed and all that to be able to really, on a consequent basis, challenge top players. But here he had a chance, and now he's in pretty deep trouble if he's aspiring on a third round entry.
So the players back at the table after the 1 minute timeout. Each player or the coach can call timeout on one occasion during the match. Chinese Taipei now have used their timeout. But unfortunately for them, the first point following the 1 minute break goes for Gao Ning, who now leads 5-1. He's raced away to an excellent start in this 6th game. Again, Gao Ning staying close to the table, getting in with a strong forehand topspin. Chen being forced away from the table, as we see here. (6-1). Good counter topspin from Chen. Took the ball very early off the bounce. On the diagonal into the backhand of Gao Ning. 2-6. 2 serves to come now for Chen.
That's that service I like the most, but it comes now he's trying it again. But a pretty good service, and that's the only way to come back in this match is to serve well and get away from Gao Ning just putting short in his forehand.
6-4.
Couple of good points there.
Gao Ning now with his 2 serves leads 6-4. That was good tactical play from Gao Ning, the backhand down the line. Then out wide to Chen's forehand, moving the ball around the table. There's the forehand on the diagonal.
5-7.
So finally one point in Gao's service also then. Has had a lot of problems now for a while. And okay, 4 out of the last 5 for Chen.
He'll be disappointed with that one. He was in position to play that forehand topspin from the backhand side of the table. It missed the white line by a very small margin, but 8-5, it's just slipping away.
And sometimes Chian also his technique is drifting very long. I mean, he's finishing his forehand stroke almost over his head. And tempo-wise, if you get a lot of tempo blocks back, then you'll run out of time eventually. And that also happens. You have to really move well all the time in order to execute.
That's a great forehand topspin. Took it very early off the bounce, straight down the line. And it's almost as though Chen now is up the ante. And not surprisingly, timeout called by Singapore. Certainly, as you pointed out, Michael, 70–80% of the last half dozen points have been won by the youngster. So a good tactical maneuver.
Yeah, all he just said, okay, now I will have to do something, so I play more aggressive, which is, and he stepped closer to the table and played tougher. So that certainly gave him life in this match.
It certainly looked as though he decided, I've got to be more positive, I've got to be more aggressive, stay closer to the table, take the ball early, put more pressure on Gao Ning, and that's certainly what happened. And he's certainly given himself a lifeline in this 6th game. 8-7 for Gao Ning. It's the business end of the 6th game. And of course, it's a game that Chen cannot afford to lose. And there he is, the 19-year-old, ranked 106 in the world.
I'm sure most of the coaching now, what kind of serve are you going to do? That's mostly what it's all about for Gao Ning in this case, and they had some discussion. Let's see.
Good play by Gao Ning, playing the angles well.
Well, they created that topspin right away with a fast service down the line, and he knew, okay, the ball will come out to me, and I have to work on it. So.
7-9, Chen with his 2 serves. Not a great serve this time, it just drifted long. Drifted long by quite some margin. As we see here, Gao Ning's able to get in with a forehand, strong forehand topspin out wide to the forehand. 3 match points for Gao Ning. And that's an error from Chen, and that's the match for Gao Ning. He takes the 6th game, 11-7. He wins the match by 4 games to 2. And I'm sure the youngster from Chinese Taipei will be very disappointed.
And he should be. He had this game, I think, in his hands, but let it slip away. I say a lot of inexperience and a lot of course, a player like Gao Ning always knows how to score points, and he started to score.